This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is the Sun Oven that we got from Practical Prepper's website. You can go to their website, look under Cooking Solutions, this, that, or the other. You'll find it. Now, not only is this thing good for emergency preparedness, but it's also an environmentally friendly way of cooking. Mrs. Guns, Knives, and Watches is, of course, an environmental educator, so she tries to come up with environmentally friendly options. Another great thing is, in the middle of summer, you can cook in this thing. You have to forgive the wind, but when you use it, this is the way it's going to be. In the middle of summer, you know, you can cook and you don't have to worry about heating up your kitchen and then having to pay to air condition it. With energy costs rising the way in which they are, and in which they probably will in the future. Of course, they'll pull them down probably for the election. It costs a lot of money to buy election, it really does. But, you know, it's a great solution. It's a great option. The one problem we had with it is we never could figure out really how to cook in it. And I'm going to tell you, if you could make a mistake, we made it. Now, this thing's only been set up for about 15 minutes. Try to get the sun from glinting on there and try to stay as much out of the picture as you possibly can. It's been set up for about 15 minutes, and we're already at about 150 degrees. Now, you're going to want to keep your mirrors clean. You're going to want to keep your glass clean. You're going to want to break the thing in the first time, you know, in the manner in which they recommend. Now, I'm going to lock this camera into the tripod real quick because I don't have a cameraman. My cameraman, unfortunately, is cooking Thanksgiving dinner. But while I have, you know, got to make a video while you're inspired. Now, what do we have in front of us? Of course, we've got the Dutch oven, but there's a dish inside of it. That was where we made all our mistakes, was actually with the cookware for the Dutch oven. We tried everything, glassware, we tried just tons of stuff, but the stuff that works the best for us is graniteware. The stuff's been around forever, made in the USA. Of course, this is a brown cake pan. It's an 8x8, and it's called Better Browning, the brown color, but it's a little bit thicker, a little metal, this, that, or the other. And it's a whole, how expensive is that Made in America dish? It is a whole $7.52. Now, we've got a Better Browning actual loaf pan, and of course this is 9 by 5 inches. It was $11.99 for the Better Browning. The traditional stoneware, though, is like what you see in the oven right now, and the reason I am doing this video right now is because I'm going to grab all this with my bare hands, and I really don't want it above my 150 degrees. What you see in there right now is actually a 4.5 quart covered casserole dish. And as I said, when this thing's really up to operating temperature, you know, I wouldn't recommend doing that barehanded. But right now it's 34 degrees outside, so this warm dish, actually, it feels pretty good on the hand. That's a 4.5 quart. This is your traditional, more traditional graniteware pot. The brown ones I tend to like better, but they're more for breads. Here's a bigger version, and this is probably bigger than what you'll use. And I've got to look this up. This is a 15-inch covered oval roaster, and it's not a perfect fit in there, but it works. And if you can put a 15-inch roaster in there, and that 15-inch roaster was a whole $11.97. The 4.5 quart covered casserole was $16.10. I got all of these off Amazon, and of course, when you would, you know, normally be using this, you'd want to, of course, lock these down. And my recommendation is don't touch the glass in operation with, you know, with your bare hands. Do it with a rag towel, something like that. Because remember, whatever this temperature says, and right now we're just a little shy of 150 because I had it opened up. You know, this glass is going to be that color, that temperature also. And it's a really good Pyrex. Another little thing that we've noticed, you know, just always be careful how you load it. But that just kind of makes sense. You're on an actual pendulum. do the simple things like keep your mirrors clean, keep your glass clean, use the break-in procedure with the vinegar. You basically heat up a vinegar bath in there, and you can sit there and see. I'm even in front of this thing. I'm casting a shadow on it, and it's still wanting to go back up to temperature. But I'm going to shut this, basically in this video, shut this thing down before I get it too hot, because I just have it set up for actual, for us just to see what I did wrong. And trust me, if you could do something wrong with this, we did it. There was absolutely nothing we did right the first few times. But when you get it right, you get an amazing product out of it. Your breads are very moist. It's almost as though you're baking them, and there's also a slight steaming effect. Like we do with zucchini bread in it. We do all kinds of stuff in it. But anyway, as I said, that's a 15-inch roaster. If you want to roast a big bird, you want to do something like that, put beef or whatever in it. These are the things that I found actually work in here. 4.5 quart covered casserole dish, and then my personal favorite is to cook bread in it. And then you got the 8x8 better browning granite ware cake pan, and then your loaf pan 9x5. And all these together, I mean, with tax and everything, I think all of the cookware basically came out at $50. The solar oven is not a cheap thing, but it's not a bad expense if you sit there and you figure out, emergency preparedness. It fits into my lifestyle. It saves me energy during the summer as long as I use it, and as long as you have the time to use it. You have to use it when the sun's up, of course. You have to have other options at night, or in overcast conditions. But as I said, it's 34 degrees out here right now. I'm sitting in front of it, and I just set the thing up, and we're already getting back up to 150. So as I said, this video's got to be over. I gotta get this thing put back up. She'll skin me alive having this out during Thanksgiving meal. This is Guns, Knives, Watches. Have a good one.